They do some nasty things in the week before this game. They say all the Aggies have Bevo burgers all week.
Well, those are some serious tusks. Those aren't Longhorns.
Texas to kick it away. Ward, who had the field goal, now 58 for his career, 19 out of 23 this year. Valentine at the 5. Cut down as he got to the 21-yard line. Let's go down to the sideline and Tim Brando.
Mike and Pat, you can really feel the pressure of this one. There was as much verbiage in today's local newspaper as much as you'd find in a pro wrestling match. Now, John Hagee, who is the strong safety for Texas, had much of that verbiage written up. I should mention Hagee was penalized twice in the Texas Tech game, and one of those penalties really cost Texas the game. He said some statements today that not only ridiculed many of the A&M players, but really insulted anyone close to Texas A&M.
It's that kind of a series. Murray dumps it over the middle this time. Bernstein again, his big tight end, and he's tripped up by Jeffries. Bernstein, they love that pattern, and it's very tough to cover.
Well, you said it earlier. He feels like he's a running back, and he played it in his past, and that's why he's so tough to stop. He's able to beat people with his speed, and after he catches the ball, he's always a threat. A lot of tight ends just run over people. He can run around, almost breaks his tackle here. He goes down. As long as Murray has time to pick him out, he's going to be able to hit him.
Good tackle by Jeffries, and this is a good Texas secondary. 1st and 10. Texas going with 5 defensive backs. Vick picked up and unceremoniously dumped by Mike January. At 230 pounds, he picked up the 221-pounder and flattened him.
Well, you'll never see a better tackle than this. I mean, he absolutely perfect form. He picked him up and threw him back all by himself. He had no help on this. Mike January, right here, just catches him in midair. Look at that. And Timmy just said it is like wrestling out here, and that was a good example of it.
That was a pin. 2nd and 8. Murray, near sideline. He's got Woodside out of the backfield, and Woodside gets up to about the 43-yard line.
Well, that's the other ball control weapon we haven't seen much of yet tonight is Keith Woodside out of the backfield. Like Bernstein, he catches a lot of underneath routes, and then he picks up extra yardage with his running ability. That's why Texas A&M is so difficult to stop. They come at you in so many ways you don't expect.
I think Texas has made up its mind. You can pick away, but you're not going to get deep. And we'll find out if A&M has the patience to do it. 1st down, Aggies. Murray to throw on 1st down. Has good protection this time and throws complete. Inside the Texas 40 to the 37-yard line is Tony Thompson. January and Peavy in on the tackle, and that time he went downfield and threw a bullet.
Well, he had all kinds of time, and you just can't let Kevin Murray sit back there and burn you like this. He'll find Thompson crossing, and the linebackers were up close. They didn't get into their drops good enough, and he had an opening, and he delivered it. That's the thing about Murray. He is not a running quarterback. He's a straight drop back, and he'll fire the ball at you.
19-yard gain for a 1st down. Woodside trying to cut outside, and the play is stopped before it got off. We have some kind of a procedure call. Check it out for you. And it is procedure against A&M.
You know, Mike, you mentioned the fact that Texas is saying to A&M, you're going to have to be patient to beat us. You're going to have to beat us underneath. And I talked to the coaches yesterday from Texas, and they said what happened against Arkansas and the reason A&M lost was because Kevin Murray just got frustrated. They kept dropping 8 people and playing zones. And
have a dead ball. Ball start. Offense. 1st down.
He started forcing the ball, and that's how Arkansas knocked off A&M.
Well, we remember the first game that we saw him against LSU. They really gave him a tough night. Because that defense is giving a lot of people a tough night. Texas trying to do it right now. Murray, excellent stats, but only 62 yards on those 6 completions. Draw play to Vick. To the 30-yard line. Good hit by Braggs, Peavy. Vick is quite a running back. He's a heck of a fullback.
We mentioned earlier that Thomas Aldridge, 97, takes an outside release on his pass rushes all the time, and they'll just cut right underneath him. And the thing about Roger Vick that's special is he's a fullback that runs like a tailback. Look at the speed he has there.
That is the end of the first period of play from a sold-out Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. It's the Longhorns 3, the Aggies nothing. There's a fan who already has made up her mind who is the favorite in this game and who she's going to root for.
I think she likes Fred Akers, too. I was looking at her.
She probably does. 2nd and 3. A&M goes for the first down with Vick up the middle. Another tackle by Stephen Braggs, number 6 in the middle of that pack. And Braggs has been in a lot of tackles, and they are going after each other with a little extra emotion. Bernstein and Brawner, the first ones to get in it. Take a look at the statistics in the first quarter. Pretty even ball game. You can see total yards, only 10 yards different. Time of possession, very close. Not much to choose from, but Texas got the only points out of it on a 39-yard field goal. Murray to throw on first down to Woodside. Complete, driven out of bounds. Tackled by Peavy. Some of the Cora cadets on the sideline. Tradition-rich school is Texas A&M. Want to update some scores for you. One in particular, and it's this. Closer than expected, even without Testaverde. 16-3, the Hurricanes. Second down, 3 yards to go after a gain of 7. Vick and Woodside to the back. This is Woodside trying to cut it outside. And a great play by Braggs. Stephen Braggs just wouldn't let him outside and then kept forcing him back and made the tackle himself. He is a tough, versatile player who's had to play both corner and safety this year.
Well, the secondary is very important for Texas tonight. They've made a lot of big tackles already. Braggs is right in the middle of your screen right here. He's just going to take Woodside, and he's just not going to let him get outside. That shows his speed, not only his speed, but his tackling ability. He kept position, wouldn't let him get wide.
Well, he was just a shadow. Every step that Woodside took, Braggs was right with him. Now 3rd and 7, and Murray sends 2 wide receivers to the far side. 4-man rush. Plenty of time. Now pressure, and they got it. Sacked at the 32-yard line, and it's Blake Brawner with his 8th sack of the season.
Well, Brawner gets credit for this sack, but I'll tell you, it was a strategy on defense right there. They doubled Bernstein. They doubled the other wide receiver. He had nowhere to go. Murray's just going to stand in the pocket. He can't let go. Double coverage, and Brawner's going to make that tackle. I know he's a happy senior. He was fired up for this game.
And if he hadn't gotten him, Thomas Aldridge, 97, would have. And there's a good look at Brawner. And now they will go for the field goal with Scott Slater, another brilliant kicker. This is a 48-yard attempt. And as you can see, he will tie the Southwestern Conference record and break the school record if he can hit this one. Plenty of distance. But it's wide. That ball would have been good from 60, but he left it wide to the right. And Texas clings to a 3-0 lead with 13:02 to go first half from Austin, Texas.
Tonight's live college football special is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like. Mazda value.
Mike Patrick, Pat McAnally, and Tim Brando, glad to have you with us on a Saturday night from Austin on ESPN. It's been an excellent ball game with 13:02 to go first quarter. Texas with a football and a 3-0 lead. Nelson in motion. Metcalf and another reverse to Nelson. Not this time. It worked once, but Steve Bullitt, number 66, saw it coming this time. Well, defensive players get burnt once and they get chewed out on the sideline. They're probably not going to get burnt again.
Well, I don't think you should run reverses this close together. No question about it. He has nowhere to go on this play. Bullitt did get burned on the last play, and this time he stayed home. And maybe you go to double reverse the next time because they might have been able to go the other way, but not this way.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Stafford fumbled the ball and has to fall on it. And the officials say he got it back, but they'll lose another 5 or 6. Mistakes have hurt Texas dearly this year. They have not made a turnover tonight, and it's something Fred Akers will try to stay away from.
Well, this just looks like a bad exchange. The ball went right through his hands and hit him in the stomach. He was very fortunate that the ball fell down where he could get it, and that Texas A&M didn't have any pressure on him early because he was in no position to fall on that ball. I think he got it with his legs eventually.
Yeah. Jackie Sherrill looking for another Cotton Bowl bid. 3rd and now 20. Stafford unloads in a hurry. All the way to the A&M 27-yard line. Chet Brooks has to make the tackle on Kevin Nelson, the man who was burned a couple of plays ago on the reverse, and Stafford hit him right on the numbers.
I can't believe 3rd and long again. Texas A&M gets caught in a trick defense. They're going to get burnt. Here's a view of their defense. They'll drop back. They're playing zone all the way, but the safety does not get in a position to take away that play. He should have been over in the middle of the field more. Helped the wrong side. He guessed to the right. He should have been more in the left or in the middle of the field where he could have taken that throw. Easy completion. No way they should have been able to get that ball in.
Longest reception of the season for Nelson, only his 7th catch. And Stafford fumbled it again. Metcalf picked it up on a bounce and really gets dumped on the sideline. Holland was over there, and Brooks took his feet from out from under him, number 27. Oh, that's two fumbled snaps in 3 plays.
Well, part of the problem is Alan Champagne, again, is their 2nd or 3rd string center. They're going, they're not going with their regular player, and that makes it tough on a quarterback sometimes, particularly in an emotion-packed game. And they were fortunate here. Metcalf picked the ball up, but a nice tackle right there by Brooks. It's 2 tackles in a row he's made.
A loss of 4 on that play, 2nd and 14. Boy, Stafford has really been impressive. And Texas is doing it with an injury-riddled lineup. Stafford quarterback draw, big play. Just tripped up as he got to the 24-yard line. Saving tackle by James Flowers, and when he took off, there was a gaping hole. That's a well-designed offense, Pat.
Well, we said this at the beginning of the game that Brett Stafford loves to run this quarterback draw. They're going to try to call it 4 or 5 times a game because he's such a good runner. Here's Johnny Holland right in the middle of your screen. He's going to get shielded and blocked right there by Norris. Norris with a nice play, save that. But again, they're dropping back in those zones so deep that Stafford's going to have some running room.
Gain of 7 for Stafford. And it's 3rd and 7 for the Longhorns. Leading 3-0 and bidding for more. Stafford doesn't like what he sees and uses his 2nd timeout here of the first half. 9:56 to go in the 2nd quarter. It's Texas 3, Texas A&M nothing.
Sherrill was most concerned about during the last series, the offensive series for Texas A&M. R.C. Slocum, the defensive coordinator, talked to his linebackers. He said, guys, read your keys and don't let number 2 beat you. Since that time, they've been watching Metcalf closely. That enabled Nelson to be open down the seam, and it also enabled Stafford to get something done on the quarterback draw, Mike and Pat.
Thank you, Tim. It is 3rd and 7 right now. Here comes the blitz. Stafford unloads to Metcalf. And he can't get away from Kelm at the 25-yard line. Larry Kelm with a saving tackle out there. Good job by Stafford just to unload.
Well, this will keep him in field goal range too, Michael. That was an excellent throw. He read the safety blitz. Metcalf just reads hot on this play. He sees the backer coming, so he just breaks out to the flat, and they're hoping he can go one-on-one and get rid. If he'd have caught this ball clean, he had a better chance. But Kelm with a nice tackle. When you're one-on-one with Metcalf, you're in a tough situation. But Kelm got the job done.
Jeff Ward, who has been good from 39, will try from 42. And he pulled that one badly. Did not get much of that one at all. And Texas will hold its 3-0 lead with 9 minutes, 11 seconds to go first half. We'll be back in Austin after this. With the football, and Roger Vick goes up the middle, tripped up as he reaches the 29-yard line. And it was Bronner who knocked him down. Our attendance tonight, 79,623. I think both of these teams could be 0-10, and you draw 79,000.
Oh, they are fired up. I'll tell you, these Aggie fans, they come in there, they dominate noise-wise in the stand.
And they don't sit down. One of the great traditions in college football, that 12th man for A&M. 2nd and 7 for the Aggies right now. Murray to throw. 4-man rush under pressure again. Throws for Woodside. Nice catch. they'll only pick up about 3, and Jeffries and Senegal were right there. But excellent, even though Murray is completing his passes, but excellent coverage by Texas in the secondary.
Well, I think what you said about being patient is right. They're giving them these short completions, but they haven't scored points yet.
There's a good look at the crowd. It came into Memorial Stadium tonight.
Well, there's no seats. It's packed on both sides.
Second and a yard. Make it third and a yard. Vick. And he got it.
Number 43, Roger Vick.
Senegal made the tackle again, along with Mike January.
Well, A&M's right side of their line, Fontenot, Land, and Bernstein are all very good. They're strong. This is where they want to run the ball when they have short yardage and goal line. As you can see, they're going to take them in. The stalemate's good enough. Bronner got double teamed, which took him out of the play. Vick found the opening, Woodside picked up the first down.
Land is about 347. He didn't need any help. Murray again to Woodside. This time he's flattened by Jeffries and couldn't hold on to the ball. Just superb coverage in the secondary by Texas tonight.
So many hits by Jeffries and Braggs. They're up there. They're gambling. They're playing those short passes. They're not giving them. You know, some of the plays they'll give them, but they're taking away a lot of those plays just by being up there playing aggressively.
Murray is 8 out of 11, but he only has 76 yards in the passing game and no points. They've gone downfield once, and that was to a back. There's a good look at Marshall Land, number 77, and he's just not big and good. He's going to go for his master's and PhD in sociology. Second and 10. Flag is down as they dump it over the middle again, and it's intercepted. And now the officials were blowing the whistle during the middle of the play and saying that there was no play.
What a break for A&M, though. That was an interception.
Sure was.
Bernstein just threw that ball up in the air. He mishandled it. It was intercepted by Texas. Ooh, those are one of those penalties they'd rather not have go 5 yards the other way. They had the ball.
So they'll mark off 5 against A&M. Big break there.
Well, A&M just going to dump the ball.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Second down.
A&M going to their little tosses to Bernstein underneath. It's the secondary. 3 deep. You can see middle safety and the outside corners playing his zone. They dump it, and it's like volleyball. He dug it up into the air, and it was intercepted, but it didn't count.
So it's second and 15 as the play is called back. Murray with time this time and throws, and incomplete, out of the hands of Tony Thompson. Griffin was the closest man to it, but Thompson just couldn't hold on to a bullet from Murray.
Well, Thompson's been open a couple times tonight across the middle, and the reason is they're doubling Bernstein when they can. They're going to help on Woodside whenever possible, and they're going to take Walker away, so naturally the flanker's going to be open. And he's found him so far, 1 catch, 1 drop. That's where they're vulnerable.
Great statistic they just had up. 10 touchdowns and 1 interception in the latest streak from Murray on the season. 16 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And that's a nice ratio to be able to keep. Right now he faces 3rd and 15. Texas with only 1 linebacker and 6 defensive backs in there. And Duncombe showing blitz. And they come, and Duncombe got there. Almost intercepted, intended for Thompson, but it was Blaine Duncombe, number 48, who was showing blitz and came full out and nailed Murray.
Well, they blitzed Duncombe, but they also ran a game with the defensive line. It's going to be a twist right in the left of your screen, right there. Bronner comes behind the defensive tackle, and that opened up Duncombe. That's a nice job by that defensive line and the linebacker core working together.
So A&M will have to punt, and Todd Shantz gets off another rocket. Drives Metcalf all the way back to the 10. Nice return by Terry Metcalf out across the 30-yard line after a 57-yard punt, a 22-yard return. Texas in possession when we come back. The rain falls on Memorial Stadium, but the Texas fans probably don't even know it. They're very happy, up 3-0. And their team has played impressively in the first half, especially Stafford, who throws complete. Stafford hasn't missed anybody. That time it was Gabriel Johnson. Flowers and Jones made the tackle. Let's get down to the sideline and Tim Brando.
In the truest form of sidelines with Tim Brando, it is raining again, but now it's serious, fellas. And by the way, Texas fans are throwing oranges, not because they're going to the Orange Bowl, but because that's where they want A&M to go. If they lose, that's where they head. But you know, Pat, I was looking, this is a raw orange. I was looking more for either a well done or at least a burnt orange to be thrown.
Tim Brando getting into the pun game with Mr. McAnally. Burnt orange, of course, being the Texas colors, 1st and 10.
That appealed to me, that joke.
Oh. This game is too good for puns. Hunter.
Well, it'd be different.
Into the ball game for the first time.
It'd be different if it was the Naval Academy playing.
Wouldn't it? Hunter missed 5 games with a groin injury. He was the starting tailback this year. Metcalf came on. Edwin Simmons has also played a lot. But they had a lot of hopes for Hunter, who has great speed. Got 6 on that carry, and it's 2nd and 4. This is sophomore out of Odessa, Texas. A&M showing blitz, and Holland comes, and Metcalf trying to get outside. Cut it back to the 40, may have the first down inside the Aggie 40-yard line. So impressed with what Texas has been able to do both offensively and defensively tonight.
Well, offensively, again, they're coming up to the line of scrimmage with this check-with-me system. That means the quarterback's going to check to one run or another run or a variety of passes. So he has the option, and Stafford's very experienced up there. He's making the right choices there. Holland, number 11, was sneaking in. He was going to blitz. So he went to an audible where he went outside quickly to Metcalf, and they got outside and picked up the first down.
5 minutes, 44 seconds, and counting in the first half. Texas scored 1 field goal, drove a long way in position to make another, but missed. Hunter, fumble. And it looked like A&M got it. And the battle royal goes on inside. The officials have not made a call. Now they have. Aggie football at the 31. And Johnny Holland is the man on the bottom of the pile. And Fred Akers looks on in disgust as his team has its first turnover of the ball game.
Well, Texas has lost 5 games this year, and they've had 17 turnovers in those games. And here it is. Really no reason to fumble this ball. He got stripped, but he's got to hold on to it. When you go up the middle like that, you just can't give the ball up, and that's why Texas has had a tough year. Again, when they lose, it's because they turn the ball over.
So the Aggies will have 5 minutes and 27 seconds to go here in the second quarter to get on the scoreboard. They have been shut out so far. They'll go with Vick on the toss, and Vick is bombed in his own backfield, and it looks like the ball came loose. He may have gotten it back. Big hit by Aldridge.
Well, this rain may be affecting some of the ball handling, but really what's going right now is big hits right here. Penetration, that'll stop any running game, and that was a fumble. That was definitely a fumble. Aldridge made the play, but Vick got it back. But Aldridge, again, he gambles. He goes outside all the time. He makes big plays. Sometimes he'll get burnt.
Very tough to run outside of him because of the way he sets up. There's Johnny Holland, great player. 2nd and 14 for A&M, and they have been throttled except for the short passing game. There's Vick on the delay. Forget it. He's wrapped up by Steve Llewellyn. Let's go to Bristol and check in with Larry Burnett.
All right, Mike, the Fiesta Bowl officials have got to be smiling tonight. It looks as though Miami is going to end up undefeated and play Penn State in Tempe for the national championship. Third quarter, Alonzo Highsmith takes it in easily. Miami without Vinny Testaverde leading East Carolina now 23-3. It's in the third in Miami.
And as you can see, Miami starting to roll a little bit tonight, and they are going to be going to the Fiesta Bowl.
Well, that's that front four of Texas. Penetration, making the plays. You don't have to blitz when you have linemen like that.
3rd and 17. Murray dumps it off. Vick out of the backfield. Got by 1 tackle, but could only get back to the 31-yard line, not even the original line of scrimmage. And Hagee was the man who came up to get it. And Texas A&M will have to kick it away, and the partisan Texas crowd is loving every minute of it, as is Fred Akers. And why not? Shantz, who has punted the ball very well, is on.
Well, they were close to blocking it last time. I think they're coming again.
10-man rush. They don't get there, and not a good kick this time. But it will take an A&M bounce. And goes out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. A 50-yard kick for Todd Shantz after a 13-yard roll. Let's go down to Tim Brando again. Tim?
Fellas, if atmospheric conditions mean anything in this game, and I think they do, Texas with its 3 points looms very big right now with a tremendous advantage with 3:19 left. And after venturing to both sides of the field, I can tell you that the Texas sidelines is pumped up with the 3-point lead, even after the Hunter fumble. The A&M sidelines is very concerned that coaches are beginning to feel that they're giving Texas the confidence necessary to pull off an upset.
Tim, I have to agree with you. If you let a team in an emotional game like this stay in it long enough, they're really going to start to believe that they can beat you. Gay in motion. And a whistle. I don't think they got the play off in time, and it looks like it'll cost them 5.
Well, they're going out of that conservative defense. Holland is blitzing play after play now. A&M's going back to tradition. They're going to try to. They're not going to give the plays to Texas anymore.
And it's a procedure call that will cost the Longhorns 5.
But you look at Texas right now. They have a 3-0 lead. They've missed a field goal, uncharacteristic of Jeff Ward. They fumbled when they were inside the 30-yard line. On the last series, they've moved the ball very well.
They sure have.
A dead ball. Ball start. Offense. First down.
So it's a 1st and 15.
And if they keep gambling and Brett Stafford's able to make the right choice up there on the line of scrimmage, A&M could get burnt big.
Stafford, a junior, holds all kind of records already. The option this time, in a hurry to Metcalf. Holland makes the tackle at the 15-yard line. Howard was also out there, but Holland, number 11, was the man who brought him down.
Well, this play does not work because Stafford doesn't get any pressure on him. He pitches the ball too early, and Johnny Holland is just so fast again from the middle. He's just skittering along the line of scrimmage. Now he'll just run Metcalf down. Look at that. Took an angle and took him right away. But again, Stafford didn't get any pressure on himself. They didn't pick him up. He pitched it too early. Johnny Holland did the rest.
Texas with only 47 yards on the ground so far. The running game has not been their long suit this year. Stafford, quarterback draw. Doesn't get much out to about the 17-yard line. Howard got over there along with Chet Brooks. It's the second time they tried to run it. Both times it looked very good as soon as he took off. But the A&M defense is closed quickly. Clock running with 2:13 to go in the half. And Texas facing 3rd and 11. Coach, what would you do here? Would you put the ball up on 3rd and 11, or would you let the clock run?
Oh, I'd go for it. I think I'd go with the crossing route right here. They've been able to burn him earlier. Why give it up? Have another chance to score.
Texas is 3 out of 6 on 3rd down. And Stafford wants to throw. Bombs away. And it's overthrown.
Oh, he had
Karan Brown was out there by 3 steps.
Oh, they just split this zone again. Corrington, the free safety, is not doing the job right now for A&M. Oh, he's down in coverage. Well, anyway, they didn't have a free safety. That should have been 6 right there. He was way behind the coverage. I apologize to Kip Corrington. That was not him, the free safety.
LaRon Brown, a transfer from Tennessee, a 400-meter man, was out there running his 400 meters.
The problem was Alex Morris, the strong safety, was playing free safety, just didn't get the drop.
Harris with a high snap, or rather Waits kicking to Harris, and oh, did he bomb it. Harris driven all the way back to the 25-yard line. Got a picket line on the sideline, but he can't quite get there. Back shy of the 40-yard line. Waits rocketed one 57 yards. We have 1:37 left to go in the half.
Surprise, Texas leading Texas A&M 3-0. In this series, don't be surprised if we see the Texas A&M offense look more to its wideouts. Pat, since that opening series where Bernstein was effective, we have not seen him as much a part of this offense for Texas A&M. Now we'll see if they've got a good 2-minute drill, won't we?
I agree with you. Right now, they need to get that ball to the wide receivers. They can't live with Bernstein.
Murray to Bernstein. They'll gain about 3 yards on that, and Texas will let them have that play all night long.
That's exactly right. In the 2-minute offense, you're not going to live with 2 and 3, 4-yard gains. You've got to get the ball upfield.
Bernstein has just set a season record for catches at A&M. He has 62 this season. Not all of them are for 3 yards. He averages almost 11 yards a catch. Murray in that 2-minute drill goes sideline to Woodside. They say he stays inbounds, and now they will stop the clock as he got to the Texas 46. You can see A&M with 2 of its timeouts left. Clock at 1:10. in this hurry-up offense, and this might be good for A&M. The regular offense has not worked all that well tonight.
It's decision time for the Texas defensive coordinator. Is they going to gamble or are they going to play conservatively?
Once again, the short pass again complete at the 39-yard line. Woodside out of the backfield. There is a penalty flag down near the line of scrimmage in the area where you would normally expect a hold. Texas came with another straight four-man rush, and they've done a good job getting pressure on Murray. And it's a face mask. Must have grabbed one of those defensive linemen.
97, Thomas Aldridge is the pressure guy. Right at the top of your screen. He usually rushes outside. This time he comes inside. Now watch number 50, right in the middle of your screen. Watch him go with that right hand, right to the face.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job by our cameraman there. No question about that penalty. Oh, he just hammered it.
It was almost like a face mask and a personal foul.
No wonder Aldridge goes on the outside most of the time. He comes inside, he gets drilled.
This is a big penalty against A&M. Costing 10 on the play and the penalty.
By the offense, first down.
So they'll mark it back to the 40-yard line of A&M. And it's a 1st and 25 with 1:04 left. And the crowd is really fired up, and the defensive linemen of Texas are helping them. Comes the rush on Murray again, almost blindside.
Oh,
what a shot over the middle. The catch is made, but Jeffries leveled Shea Walker, who did a great job to hang on. Oh, what a shot.
I don't know how he held on to this ball.
Stephen Braggs has nailed some people in the first half. Murray again, and throws sideline. Nice catch by Walker at the 33. And they'll stop the clock getting out of bounds.
Shea Walker never had time to recover for that hit, but he managed to make the catch.
Now this will be the previous play.
Right, this is the play before where Shea Walker holds on to this ball. They're just in their 3-deep zone, but here comes number 6. Braggs just absolutely hammers him. How he held on to that ball, I'll never know. I know one thing, I probably would have been squirting out of my hands. My head probably would have been rolling too.
Right. 38 seconds left. It's 1st and 10. A&M on a drive. They're in field goal position now as Walker has it to the 10-yard line. Gang tackle there, but it'll be another first down for the Aggies. And they have all at once found Shea Walker.
Well, Tim Browndell called that one from the sidelines. Nice job of spying, Timmy. They definitely decided to come out and hit their wide receivers, and that penalty may have helped them in the end, Mike.
Got a timeout right now with 30 seconds to go.
Here's a shot of the secondary again. They're going conservative. Texas decided to sit back into their zones. This time it's a cover 2. Both safeties dropping. Right over the middle again. Wide open. And Murray delivered the ball. They didn't get enough pressure on him. You can't give those kind of throws time after time.
Murray's now hit 5 in a row. He is 13 out of 18, 149 yards. And there is Scott Slater on the sideline. He missed from 48 earlier, hoping for a chance to tie it up. That is, if his teammates don't get it in for 7. This is really, outside of the opening drive, the only time that A&M has been able to move the ball.
But they're showing the versatility they have on offense. You know, they have Vick, Woodside, and Bernstein. We saw all those players early. Walker and Harris, their 2 wide receivers, haven't gotten the ball that often, although Walker has 36 catches this year. You know, they keep throwing those short passes, and suddenly the wide receivers will be open.
You can't take everything away on defense. And Jackie Sherrill and the staff have done a good job of finding out what was not taken away and going to it. It's a 1st and 10 situation for A&M just outside the Texas 10. Murray wants Walker. Almost intercepted. Great defensive play by Tony Tillman.
I'd like to see if he was in on this or not. Let's see if this is an interception or not. It sure was excellent coverage. Man-to-man, they're just going to lob the ball. Toughest position to be in as a defensive back. Man-to-man, no help. Let's see if he's in bounds. That isn't it. Oh, no, he didn't have control of the ball.
I don't think he had control of the ball that went out.
Very close, though.
Looked like a good call by the official down in the corner of the end zone. 2nd and 10, 23 seconds left. Fred Akers encouraging that defense. Texas showing blitz, and here they come. They don't get there. And now Murray dumps it off to the 6-yard line. Aldridge and Espinoza in on the tackle as Bernstein was literally standing in the backfield after throwing a block.
I don't know how he ever saw him on that play. That's just an incredible vision of the field by Kevin Murray. Just found him. Almost got thrown for a big loss.
And there is a flag down on the play with 13 seconds left. The flag was thrown at the 5-yard line at the point of the tackle.
Disregard the flag. The pass did not cross the line of scrimmage. The pass did not cross the line of scrimmage.
Could it have been an illegal receiver downfield? And then it wouldn't count if the pass was, in effect, a screen pass, which that would.
That's what they called there. That's a nice job by the officials to get together, because that is a tough call to make and to retract.
3rd and 5, 11 seconds. And A&M will use its final timeout of the half with 11 seconds.
You know, the irony here is that A&M was really going to their short passing games. They got that 15-yard penalty, and that's when they started throwing to their wide receivers.
Murray on the sideline talking with Jackie Sherrill. Coming up at halftime, we'll have Larry and Bino with first half highlights, and we'll also have an in-depth preview of Saturday's BYU-San Diego State game. Pat, Tim, and me will be out in San Diego, beautiful San Diego, California, for a Saturday night game, and the Western Athletic Conference title could be decided. San Diego State wins that one. They take it all. Brigham Young hopes for a win to keep it alive. They and Air Force, and you know the Air Force will be rooting for Brigham Young in that one.
Well, BYU arguably is the most influential offensive team in this decade. That, along with Bill Walsh on the professional level, they brought the passing game to the college game and opened up the offenses everywhere.
Here's the situation for A&M. No timeouts left. If they don't get it in the end zone, they would not have time, or out of bounds, they would not have time to go for the field goal. Here comes the blitz, and they're all over Murray, and he has to throw it away. January came roaring through there and flattened Murray.
Oh,
nobody touched him.
Well, that's the type of play you get an interception on. Your quarterback gets hit right when he's delivering the ball. He didn't have 2 seconds on that play.
Great job by January. The second time he has been all over Murray. Now Slater will come in to try one from 23 yards. He missed earlier from 48. He'd like to tie it up. And he got this one. Texas A&M with 5 seconds to go in the first half used the 2-minute offense beautifully to get down in scoring position, and Scott Slater out of Fort Worth knocked it through to tie it at 3. They say that Fred Akers' future will be announced, or at least decided, on Saturday here at the University of Texas, and you have to root for Fred Akers simply because of the way he has handled this. He has not won a lot of big games lately, but then that happens to a lot of coaches, and he's won nearly 75% of his games.
Well, I think it's really, this illustrates one of the shabbier sides of collegiate sports. I don't think alumni or reporters should be able to decide a coach's fate. He has won over 70% of his games. He brought in a new staff this year. They have a lot of young players. The coaches are very excited about their prospects of recruiting, because now the players want to go to Texas because they have a chance to play a lot of youngsters. So to deny him an opportunity to use the players he's developed this year, I think it's wrong.
Of course, the pressure is more than Fred Akers, because there have been so many reports that DeLoss Dodds, the athletic director, was told if he didn't fire Fred Akers, they'd get rid of DeLoss Dodds and anybody else it took to get a new change in the football program.
Well, alumni are important. You certainly want their support, but you don't want them in there deciding who your athletic director and your coaches are going to be. I think that's wrong.
You can't let them buy the decision-making power. The 12th man kickoff team for Texas A&M. Good question here. Do they go ahead and kick it away? They've only given up, the longest return they've given up in 3 years is 39 yards. Or do you have a little squib kick with only 5 seconds left?
Well, I think you go with the squib kick here. You don't want to give them an opportunity to set up a return, no matter how good you are. Play it smart here. And naturally, they do the other.
They'll kick it into the end zone, and they'll bring it out. Kevin Nelson. And Nelson is back to the 26-yard line. That shows confidence in your kickoff team that if you would squib it, all it would do was end the first half, but you go ahead and kick it away anyhow. So that is the end of the first half as Bevo looks on from the sideline. It is 3-3, Texas A&M. We've got a great one from Austin. Right now, let's go back to Bristol and Larry Burnett.
In Texas, it's a 3-3 tie. Bino said it was going to be a tight game, said that Texas was going to come up a winner. We're going to have to wait and see if that happens. As we said, the folks in Arkansas are still waiting to find out what happens with that game as well. Southwest Conference and the Cotton Bowl bid on the line. Let's go back to Austin, Texas.
In the heart of Texas, A&M and the Longhorns are knotted at 3 here at halftime. Tim Brando along with Mike Patrick and Pat McAnally. The Aggie line is doing it to it to start the third quarter. The fans are all around. It looks almost like a disco dance inside there with some of those fellas coming out. And obviously the fans need to get them pumped up at this point because, as always, Texas, when they have been the underdog, is playing the favored team extremely tough. You get the feeling, and you hate to use the phrase, as the Longhorns make their way out onto the field, you hate to use this petty phrase, but he may be the Gipper tonight. They may want to win one for the Gipper. Right now, they're getting it done. The score is tied at 3, and for the most part, the Texas defense has been dominant in this game, with the exception of that 2-minute drill that really led to all of the statistics for Texas A&M in the first half. Now, as we look at these stats, Mike and Pat, you can tell they're very even, but particularly in the passing yardage, and most of that yardage came in that 2-minute drill, Pat, when they went to the wideouts, and they had to, obviously, with only 1:38 left in that drive that led to the field goal.
Well, you're right, Timmy. A&M, Murray completed 15 passes, but 9 of them were just to Bernstein and Woodside for only 73 yards. That last drive, he was able to go across the middle to Shea Walker and once earlier to Tony Thompson for over half the yardage. And it'll be interesting to see if A&M comes out trying to throw the ball downfield or goes back to that conservative offense.
And interesting, as Jackie Sherrill looks on, that Texas A&M is a team that scored 74 points a week ago against TCU. They have 3 points here in the first half. Texas has done just an exceptional job of knowing where A&M's strengths are and trying to take away as much as possible.
Well, I think this is what's frustrating for the coaching staff for Texas. I think that they've come in here, they've grown along with their players, a lot of young players, and they're ready for next year. They feel they have the personnel. Fred Akers is confident that if he's allowed to retain his job and the coaching staff stays intact, that they'll take this conference next year.
You saw they're trying to avoid the first losing season since 1956, and Brad Lucky, number 83 in the middle of your picture there on the kickoff team as they broke it off, is one of those Texas linebackers who has come back from an injury. They lost so many guys, especially Britt Hager, a guy who was given number 60, which was Tommy Nobis's number. And the Longhorns have just been decimated at linebacker, but they've done a great job tonight. And there is Ward set to kick it away as Texas A&M will receive to start the second half in a 3-3 game. There is Rod Harris, the deep man, standing. Really given time to throw this year, he has been exceptional. I think a lot of people who came to this game tonight, almost 80,000 of them, thought they were going to see a series, unless you go back to 1979. But not tonight. We've had a beauty. High short kick, and Valentine will take it at the 5. And gets back to the 25 and no more. A 20-yard return for Valentine. Here's what Texas A&M was able to do on its possessions in the first half. The first 2 times they had the ball, they had to punt it away. Then the third time, they got off their best drive of the first half, a 10-play drive, but they missed the field goal. Then the next 2 drives, they also were forced to punt. And then in the 2-minute drill, they really did the job. A 9-play drive that resulted in a field goal to tie it up. Even though Roger Vick has been able to get his yards, Texas has done a pretty good job in shutting down A&M's ground game. And here goes Vick to start the second half. Nice hole up the